Thanks very much, Madonna, and thank you to all of the hardy souls who've stayed right to the end. I know probably some of you have planes to rush away to, so I'll try and be brief. Certainly been an action-packed couple of days, and I hope you've seen there's some fairly common themes coming through all of the presentations. Christine G started with her President's Address with an overview of the breadth of APHA's work in the last 12 months. It's actually quite exhausting when I looked up on those slides and recounted the 14 government reviews and various other bits and pieces of work that we've been doing. And Christine also outlined some of the key issues that we will continue to advocate and work on regardless of the election outcome. But I'd also like to join Christine in thanking the members of the APHA board and council and all the members of our various task forces without whom we wouldn't be able to undertake the work that we do. We then got, finally, the Health Minister, Susan Lee, who talked about the government's reviews again and explained how, although they were independent pieces of work, that they were aimed at reforming interdependent parts of the system and always looking at the patient as the reference point for any policy reform. She talked about the challenge for government in trying to manage the system in the face of increasing demand from an ageing population, declining workforce, increasing technology, and increasing consumer expectations within the constraints of limited fiscal resources, and that's a theme that I think will be common to all governments. She also did mention, by the way, that the private sector provides choice for consumers and acknowledged that private hospitals do a lot of heavy lifting within the system. Then we had Michael Buist, who started off by saying he hoped to make us uncomfortable, and I think he achieved that aim with quite a powerful presentation based on his experiences, and particularly when, as a doctor, he became a patient. He told us about cavemen, how to become a bad patient, and emphasised the need to actually listen to patients, which we heard right up until the end today, so that was great. And also the need to actually care for patients, not just provide care for them. Anne Duggan from the Commission took us through the Atlas of Healthcare Variation, and that's a very important piece of work, and there were some quite dramatic findings there in terms of the level of variation in parts of the health system. And I think it's going to be the focus of government and policy work in the future, but at the moment it just raises more questions than it answers, including questions like what's the right amount of care and what's an acceptable level of variation, but those are things that I think the Commission and governments will be working on into the future. We then had our panel, Steve Hambleton, Alan Boston and John Horvath, talking about is the consumer at the centre of your business model. It was interesting actually, there were different approaches to that question from both large and small organisations, but all with the same aim of informing and assisting patients. And also echoing Michael Buist's message, we were told that the key is to listen to the patient. And then day one was rounded out with a bit of a different tack from Rachel Robertson, who was able to draw on her experience of an Antarctic expedition to provide lessons on teamwork and leadership and explain why respect trumps harmony. Then we moved on to today, and how good was this morning's session on, or sessions on, managing underperforming clinicians? Very ably moderated by Shane Evans, and of course with Trish Hogan, Lewis Prado, John Quinn and Matt Mackay. So I discovered that that process actually starts with onboarding, which was a word I'd never heard before. But I think it really highlighted just how vexed and complex that issue can be, and certainly made me very thankful that I'm not a private hospital manager. You guys can have that stuff. And for anyone who's interested, Lewis Prado apparently has membership forms for anyone who wants to join the secret society of medical directors. We then moved on to the role of pharmacists in driving safety and quality measures in hospital, and there were similarities and differences. There's obviously differences in funding models and culture between the public and private sector that really make it more challenging, I think, to achieve some of those medication safety initiatives within the private sector. But the key message I got from that session was to keep doctors away from medication charts. And then, of course, we had our final session with Deb, Catherine, Chris and Rachel, once again, I think, rounding off some of the key themes that we've seen or heard over the last couple of days. So, Chris, we look forward to your leadership in the health profession in driving clinical engagement in quality issues. And Rachel, we certainly look forward to ongoing discussions about collaboration between hospitals and funds. I'd like to also thank all of the delegates here for your participation in the sessions with some very astute and engaging questions, taking part in the social functions and the networking opportunities. So I think it's been a successful conference. Certainly the feedback I've had has been good so far. And if there's any sessions that you've missed in giving feedback on your app, you can do it when you go away in the privacy of your own room. We'll accept it at any time. The presentations, the PowerPoints that we've received where we've got consent, they'll be posted on the Congress website, not the APHA website, and also keep an ear out or an eye out for notice about some of the videos where we've got consent. Once again, we'll post them on our YouTube channel, but we'll provide you with information about that. I'd also like to thank all of our exhibitors and sponsors. They do add value to the conference, there's no doubt about that. And I'd also like to thank our wonderful MC, Madonna King. I think she's done a great job. Just a couple more. I'd like to thank the ladies from Iceberg Conferences who've helped us with the organisation from the event. And finally, my staff. I think I've got a couple of them left in the back of the room. Can you please thank the APHA staff? That's all I had for you, but please do provide feedback. If you've enjoyed yourself here over the last couple of days, tell a friend, or even better, bring a friend next year. We hope to see you next year. Thank you.